Let me turn you to the president's executive order regarding Dodd-Frank, the beginning of the process to roll that back. Couple questions there. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot of them here, but clearly Donald Trump ran on a populist campaign platform to help the middle class. How does rolling back Dodd-Frank, which is perceived today, I mean, the financial stocks are all rallying on this. How does it perceive to be helping the middle class if the banks are the real beneficiaries of rolling back Dodd-Frank?
Well, it's credit access around the country, and the guys that are at the Rotary clubs and the Kiwanis clubs and the Lions clubs and the Chambers of Commerce in Middle America around the country are not these big banks. They're regional and mostly community banks, and they're the ones that are bearing the brunt of this. They have a smaller asset base in which to spread the tremendous regulatory burden that they have, and it's cramping credit. There's no question. And so over time, I heard y'all talking earlier, there's no question most of the relief is going to come to community banks. That's going to be great for middle America, and that's where smaller businesses are getting their credit. That's where most of the jobs in our country are created. So that's exactly where most of the relief is going to come.
What are your plans, Senator, for the Volcker rule?
I don't have any plans for the Volcker rule right now. Individually, we're going to be moving some legislation through. I think that having some higher degree of liquidity for clients that need to purchase certain assets is a good thing for our country, but at present, I mean, that's not top of mind. I think the focus is more on what was just talked about, and that is really granting significant relief to smaller institutions that just don't have first of all, they don't pose the risk to America that some of the larger institutions do, but secondly, again, for them, the burdens are much greater. So I think you're going to see relief up and down the spectrum. Some of it will be done through executive order, as has been mentioned, but a lot of it's going to be done through legislation. And believe it or not, there's bipartisan support for that to occur, especially for the regional and smaller institutions across our country that have been so hurt from it.
What about the so-called fiduciary rule, which another executive order delays implementation of? I mean, that was designed to avoid conflicts of interest for financial companies and their customers. The customers should come first when it comes to recommendations for investments, but now companies have been, complaining about it, saying it's too onerous and it's misinformed, misintended, as Gary Cohn said it this morning. What's your view of that?
I really do think it is misintended. We've had multiple groups in our office. When you walk through it, it really is not something that helps the smaller investor. It is not. And so I think a rewriting of this, obviously, we absolutely need to ensure that when people are, especially representing people that work all day in a plant or on a construction site and they're putting monies away in a 401k or something like that, obviously we need to ensure that the people that are working with those assets are doing so in a fiduciarily responsible manner. But the way this rule was written didn't accomplish that. So we need to rework it, and I'm glad it's being halted at present.
Well, another day, more executive orders. Senator, always good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
You guys need to move legislation as fast as these executive orders.
Yeah. Congress has got work to do, that's for sure.
Thanks, Senator. We've got, in the personnel business right now, we've got 1,200 nominations to confirm. So we have a lot of legislation, a lot of noms to get in place. It's a good time in the United States Senate. But thank you. I'll see you later. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks very much.
Senator Corker.